Hi guys, here we are. We're doing chapter 3 of Stress and Resistance. This is the 52-week to Better Mental Health book. It's by Tina B. Tassina, PhD, LMFT. On that note, I am not a licensed therapist. I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology and social behavior with a minor in education theory. And I thought I would come on and just do a self-help book club for anyone who wants to participate and maybe take 52 weeks to a better self. I've been doing the videos in about under 10 minutes each time, so it's like, hey, 10 minutes a week? I've got that time. Okay, so do you want to step into week 3 with me? Here we go. Here we go. Stress and resistance. Knowing how to manage your stress is essential to having good mental health. A certain amount of stress from life is inevitable, but there are healthy and unhealthy ways of handling it. Better stress management improves your ability to think clearly and make good choices. Unmanaged stress has harmful effects on your physical body, such as raising your blood pressure and heart rate and lowering your immune response, among other things. Resistance is an internal thought habit that creates stress, because internal stress is self-created. You can learn not to create it. And these next few weeks will focus on eliminating internal stress and reducing the effects of external stress. So we're on week 8, understanding your stress. What creates stress in your life? Now try not to get stressed out thinking about the things that create stress in your life. But on another note, if you're writing down all the things that create stress in your life, maybe you could just leave it on the paper and just realize that, you know what, you're not going to forget about those things. Sometimes half the problems that we have in our minds about stress things and things that causes stress is the fact that we'll forget. Like I'll forget to make phone calls, or I might forget to do appointments, or I have to write down my to-do list, or things that I wanted to post, or songs that I wanted to post, or whatnot. Or projects I want to work on, or things I need to research. Literally, I have a notebook full of these things. And if you write them all tongue-tied, if you write down all of those things, more likely your mind is going to say, hey, I know they're all written down and now I can focus on the things that I need to focus on because I'm not thinking about all those other things I've got to do. It's a really helpful tool. If you don't do it, please implement it. Give it a try. See if it works for about a week or so. See how it goes. Okay, so what creates stress in your life? That's the first prompt. By all means, feel free to pause the video and then work on that section and then come back to us, okay? All right, do you get stressed about things you haven't done or when your to-do list piles up? I was just talking about that to-do list, wasn't I? Interesting, interesting. So in that case, you would write those things down if it does. That would help you relieve some of that stress behind that. Do relationships cause you to stress, and in what ways? Interesting. I do have to say that dating and meeting new people causes me to stress out. Only because you don't really know who that person is, and they always put on a good face when you first meet. And I shouldn't say everyone is like that. A lot of people will come and they will be authentic throughout your relationship. But there are those people who will come in and portray themselves to be a certain way, and they say, I think it's about 3 months before that mask starts to fall off and that true person starts to come out. Go figure, right? So with that said, some people end up, their mask will fall off a lot sooner, and some people, they'll kind of hold it on for a little bit longer, but just know that it is a real thing. It does happen. People do kind of pretend to be who they want you to think they are for some time. But even then, I can say that there's little slippages there every now and then that you might catch. And you'll want to make note of those things. Hold on to those ideas that you might be having, and then just wait it out and see if it's actually who they are, or if it's just a little hiccup that they're going through. Who knows? We're all on a journey, and we're all trying to improve ourselves. Well, at least the people who are here, we're trying to improve ourselves, right? And the more people we can reach, like I'm doing the video, who knows if I'm ever going to be around? At least the video is here, and it will continue to live on until I'm not here anymore, until after. And I'm still helping people. And that's all I ever want to do, is just help people. Because life can be happy. Okay, so I digressed, as I usually do. Okay, do you bring work stress home with you, and how does that manifest? That's a really great question. I know that when I was going to school and working and being a parent, I was like, okay, I need to schedule all of my school time at school. I need to schedule all of my work time at work. And when I'm home, I need to be home for my kids. I need to be that parent. I can't be saying, hold on, I got to work on my homework. Hold on, I'm looking at my work emails. No, that's not all right. It's not fair to the kids. So what do? If you're in school, you schedule your school schedule, and then you plan in some time that you can do your homework at school. Maybe you go to school Tuesday, Thursdays, and you work Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, if that's possible. And then your evenings and your Saturdays and Sundays are for your kids. That's the way it should be, right? I mean, if they're in school, you might as well be in school and at work. I don't know. It just worked out for me. That way I knew I was in mom mode, I knew I was in school mode, or I knew I was in work mode. Or if you're just, if you have it so where you could just go to school and then you can plan even more study time there and be with your kids, more power to you. Get your grants and your school loans and whatnot, but please know you've got to pay those loans back. And if you want to put those loans on hold, they do charge you interest, and so you may end up owing double the amount of the money that you borrowed. That's my scenario. Because I borrowed money, and because I put them on hold, I guess it's called a forbearance or something, because I put them on hold, it racked up even more interest, and now I owe double what I borrowed. I didn't realize that. I mean, I think I realized it, but I didn't realize that it was double the amount. Anywho. Let's see. Does worrying about what stresses you keep you from sleeping well? Worry, right? Again, if you're making a list of all the things that you're stressing out about, if you just write out in a journal every night, all the things that stress, all the things you need to remember, all those things. At the end of your list, always pick the things that went well that day, all the things that you have gratitude for that day. That way, when you're closing that book, on all your stresses, you're leaving your mind with a pleasant thought, and then that way you can rest better. If it helps you, drink some lavender tea, unless you are a man, because it will mess with your testosterone levels. You might want to go with chamomile. I believe that might be a better alternative. Anything that I suggest, please do your research on it. I am not a doctor, as we previously mentioned. You may want to take a nice Epsom salt bath if your body can tolerate Epsom salt. You may want to not look at your phone for, I think what they said, like a few hours before bed. Don't have caffeine. I used to not be able to have caffeine after noon. Literally, 12 o'clock. If it was after 12 o'clock, no caffeine because it would keep me up. So there are so many things that you can do to help relieve your stress before you go to bed. Look into those things. Again, there are different avenues. You can ask a practitioner, you can ask a doctor, you can ask a therapist, you can ask YouTube, you can ask Google, you can go to the library, you can ask your friends. The information is out there. The more people you ask and the more books you open, the more likely it is that you're going to find the answer to whatever it is that you're asking about. It will tend to show up eventually, and most likely when you don't even know it. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I was trying to figure that out, and here it is. Have you ever had that situation happen? It's happened to me. All right, so week 7 and 8 reflections. What surprised you about yourself the last 2 weeks? Did you learn something new? And can you put your new awareness into action? All right, you guys, with that said, we are going to move on to week 9 in the next video. I'll meet you there. Take care.